There's a dangerous assumption most people live with. They think if God is warning them, it will be obvious. Loud, dramatic, impossible to miss. But the truth is, God rarely shouts. He whispers. And because of that, most people don't miss God's warnings because he's silent. They miss them because they're distracted. Right now in your life, there may already be signs. Subtle shifts, quiet discomfort, repeating patterns. And if you ignore them, it doesn't just delay your life. It can redirect it in the wrong direction entirely. So today I'm going to show you the signs God is warning you. And the last one is the one most people never recognize until it's too late. Let's start with the first sign. Number 1, a loss of peace you can't explain. Not stress, not pressure. Not a bad day, this is different. Everything on the outside may look fine, but inside, something feels off. Heavy, unsettled, quietly wrong. Most people ignore this feeling. They distract themselves, they rationalize it. They say, I'm just overthinking. But here's what most people miss. Peace is not just a feeling, it's a signal. Colossians 3:15 says, let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. That word rule means to decide, to govern, which means when peace leaves, something is wrong. God doesn't always send a voice. Sometimes he removes peace. And if you feel that inner resistance, that quiet discomfort that won't go away, don't ignore it. It might be a warning. Number 2, doors keep closing no matter how hard you try. You push, you plan, you do everything right. And still, when it doesn't work, at first it feels like failure, like something is wrong with you. But what if it's not failure? What if it's protection? Proverbs 16:9 says, in their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. Here's the truth most people don't want to accept. Not every closed door is a loss. Some doors close because God sees what you can't. You're trying to walk into something that will drain you, break you, or delay your purpose. So he blocks it, not to punish you, but to redirect you. If something keeps falling apart, even when you're doing everything you can, stop asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is this protecting me from? Number 3, repeated patterns of the same problem, same type of relationship, same type of conflict, same outcome over and over again. Different people, different situations, but the same result. Most people blame others. They say, I just attract the wrong people. But here's what most people miss. Repetition is not coincidence, it's instruction. God will allow a lesson to repeat until you learn what it's trying to teach you. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, there is a time for everything. But if something keeps repeating, it means the time to learn it hasn't passed yet. This is not punishment, this is refinement. Because God is more concerned with who you're becoming than what you're experiencing. So if the same problem keeps showing up, don't just try to escape it. Understand it, because the lesson you avoid today will return tomorrow. Stronger. Number 4, conviction that doesn't leave you alone. This one is powerful and uncomfortable. You know something is wrong. Not because someone told you, not because you got caught, but because deep down you feel it. A quiet voice, a constant nudge, telling you, this isn't right. Most people silence it. They justify, they delay. They say, it's not that serious. But here's the truth. Conviction is not condemnation, it's direction. John 16:8 explains that the Spirit convicts, not to shame you, but to guide you. If God wanted to punish you, he wouldn't warn you. The fact that you feel conviction means he's trying to pull you back before damage happens. But here's what most people miss. The longer you ignore conviction, the quieter it becomes, until one day when it's gone. And that's when real danger begins. Number 5, you feel pulled away from certain people or environments. No fight, no big reason. Just a quiet shift. You don't feel aligned anymore. Conversations feel different. Energy feels off. And you can't fully explain why. So you stay, out of loyalty, out of comfort, out of fear of change. But here's what most people miss. Not every disconnection is loss. Some are elevation. 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, bad company corrupts good character. Notice, it doesn't say might. It says corrupts, slowly, subtly, over time. God will often warn you by changing how you feel around certain people. Not because they're evil, but because they're not aligned with where you're going. And if you ignore that shift, you don't just stay the same. You get pulled backwards. Number 6, confusion replaces clarity. God brings clarity, not chaos, not constant confusion. 1 Corinthians 14:33 says, for God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. So if your life starts to feel unclear, if decisions feel foggy, if everything feels scattered, pay attention. Because confusion is often a sign you've stepped outside of alignment. Most people try to solve confusion with more thinking, more planning, more control. But clarity doesn't come from control. It comes from alignment. Sometimes the warning isn't loud. It's the absence of clarity. And the solution isn't to force answers, it's to realign your direction. Number 7, You feel a strong inner resistance before making a decision. You're about to say yes, about to move forward, about to commit. And something inside you says, wait. Not fear, not anxiety, but resistance, stillness, a pause you can't ignore. Most people override it because it doesn't make logical sense, because everything looks good on paper. But here's what most people miss. God doesn't always guide through logic. Sometimes he guides through restraint. Isaiah 30:21 says, whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it. But that voice doesn't always say go. Sometimes it says don't, and that don't can save you years of regret. Now here's the part that changes everything. God's warnings are not there to scare you. They're there to protect you, but protection only works if you listen. Because ignoring a warning doesn't stop the consequence. It just delays your awareness of it. So let's bring this together. Loss of peace, closed doors, repeated patterns, conviction, disconnection, confusion, inner resistance. These are not random. They are signals, guidance, correction, direction. And here's the truth most people never realize. God doesn't force you to listen. He invites you. You can ignore every sign, push through every warning, silence every nudge, and still move forward. But not every path forward is the right one. So here's the question. What has God been trying to show you that you've been ignoring? Don't answer that quickly. Sit with it. Because clarity begins the moment you stop running from it. If this opened your eyes, type aware in the comments. Not for me, for you. As a decision that you're going to start paying attention. Because the difference between a life of confusion and a life of purpose is not luck. It's awareness, and once you see the signs, you can't unsee them.